All right, Nebraska received another commitment from a four-star defensive back, so you're really beginning to see how well of a recruiter Addison Williams is, Nebraska's defensive backs coach. Specifically, I mean, he got here in May of 2024, and just in these last two classes that he's had, he signed a five-star in Danny Odom, and then already currently, with roughly 6 months to go until signing day, he's already got 3 4-stars committed to play in the secondary for next year. So it's super exciting. Bryce Williams here of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 4-star. There's a little bit of a stipulation between cornerback and safety here, but I definitely think for Nebraska, in a new defensive scheme, he'll have a versatile role for sure. But I do think he is a corner for sure, a true corner prospect. But yeah, I guess I'll just kind of hand it off to you, and you can talk about the recruitment here because there's obviously some other interest with some big time programs.
Yeah, so I think he was. I think there was a few guys Nebraska's gone after that were committed to Florida State at one point, but I think this is one of those guys that was committed to Florida State for a while, and then he backed off. And Nebraska has been the leader for a while now, and it's kind of been that you see a bunch of writers who will just be like, who is Nebraska's next commit going to be? And it's Bryce Williams is at the top of that list for probably since February or March at this point. And so it's kind of just been, when is he going to pull the trigger? Honestly, that does not bode well for Nebraska. But obviously he did end up picking Nebraska. But it did give time for schools like Oklahoma and Clemson to kind of surge in this recruitment here near the end. Oklahoma had him on an OV recently, and they were surging for a while there. But Nebraska comes out on top here, and it's really nice. It's really nice to just see how good of a recruiter Addison Williams is. I mean, last cycle he didn't get the full cycle to recruit, but he had CJ Brown in the class for a little bit, and he was a high 4-star. And then obviously we had Danny Odom, who was a 5-star. And then we were really close to getting a 4-star safety, Devin Jackson, too, who was at Oregon. And so it's really nice to just see these guys come in. And if you couldn't tell, we're pre-recording these commitments, so Jalen Hill could or maybe is in the class at this point when we're recording this video. But just having these 3 guys, Bryce Williams, Tory Pittman, and Corey Hadley, and then even potential of adding Jalen Hill in there too. That is probably one of the better defensive back classes in the country, and I think they might even add another one in Kamari Whitfield, who goes to the same high school that Danny Odom attended in Florida. So, I mean, that's all I have to say there, I guess, if you have anything before we head into some film here in a second.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's crazy. Specifically, Bryce Williams is another Florida kid. So Danny Odom's from Florida. Kamari Whitfield is from the same high school. Devin Jackson was also from the same high school as well. So you're really just seeing, I'm blanking on his name, I guess, but Nebraska's defensive back coach, sorry.
Addison Williams. You're good.
Addison Williams, he was the defensive coordinator at UCF for the past 4 years before joining Nebraska staff. So it's really encouraging. And I think it was a very smart move by Matt Rule to hire Addison Williams when he did, because Nebraska has been trying to, really dominate the recruiting landscape in Florida. And Addison Williams absolutely has that on lock. At least in the secondary here, but just overall, he gives them another strong coach with relationships and really deep ties in the state of Florida. And just like Jeep Wade with Georgia here, you're really seeing Nebraska start getting back into Florida, getting back into Georgia, like those SEC territory states and they're winning these recruitments. So I think that's super encouraging. But I guess just kind of getting into the film here, I'll have to mute it. Okay, there we go. I mean, I know you're talking about this first clip here, but with the kind of shades of like Travis Hunter. But
yeah, I think Travis Hunter had a similar pick. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he had a similar pick like that at Colorado, but I could be wrong.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, either way, just looking at the film here, he's got really good ball skills, and specifically on that first highlight, like really good breaking ability, which is nice to see. But yeah, as far as corner goes, like Nebraska just in 2025, they had the 3rd ranked defense against the pass. So just seeing that these kids that they're bringing in are high profile recruits and have the ability to kind of continue that trend over the next couple of years is really exciting, knowing that eventually if Nebraska gets back to like a college football playoff level team, they're going to be going against the best quarterbacks in the country. So you're going to need good defensive backs. And at some point, regardless, you're going to have to get a better defensive line first and foremost to start getting there. But, eventually this recruiting is going to start paying off for sure in a really big way for Nebraska. So, yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah. Obviously, just kind of like when we're going through the film, just kind of a few things that I like. Obviously, he has a few good interceptions on here. Some of them were kind of under throws, and he got a little lucky. But you see with a lot of these pass breakups, his ability to play through the hands of the receivers, and obviously, like on that one, you saw him have a little juice behind the hit. Another good, just great job breaking on the ball. You see how fast he is. You can see that drop step. Or you'll probably see it. You might be out of frame on that one, but when I'll go back a little bit and you can see on this one for sure, when that ball comes out of the quarterback's hand, you see him immediately just drop that drop step and he just drives on the ball. It's what you want to see out of a DB, being able to break on the ball, because that's one of the biggest parts of being a DB is being able to, get to that receiver, play through his hands and make sure he doesn't catch the ball, because even if he is open, if you can get there and play through his hands, break the ball, get a pass breakup so he doesn't catch the ball, I mean, that's huge. You want to make sure that you always are winning the rep, even if you might have started the rep, if you got burnt or whatever it is at the beginning of the round. But yeah, I'm super promising here. Obviously he's super lengthy too, at 6'2" or 6'3", even I think 175. So another lengthy corner. We talked about in our recruiting video about Jalen Hill being 6'3". So two lengthy guys that, obviously they're adding Bryce Williams here, and hopefully they have or will add Jalen Hill to the class as well. So, I really like these two ads, and it's just this DB class is honestly just really going to be one of the best in the country. So,
yeah, I mean, honestly, if you end up getting those two commitments and Bryce Williams and Jalen Hill, it'd be hard to argue that at least at this point in time, there's a better defensive back recruiting class in the country. So that's obviously really exciting for Nebraska. And the future is bright at the position group. Just looking at the roster right now, Andrew Marshall and Victor Evans, who's the FIU transfer, also from Florida, originally from Florida, and then played collegiately at FIU for the past couple of years. Those two are the only two that are set to exhaust their eligibility after this year. So the playing time, in the 2027 class, it'll be up for grabs a little bit. I think both of those two are going to, obviously Andrew Marshall is going to be a sure starter, but Victor Evans is going to have some reps as well. And then you got like kids like Donovan Jones, who are in their third year at Nebraska. So he'll kind of step into that role as well. But there's going to be at least one starting quarterback spot next year that's up for grabs. And I think Bryce Williams is a guy that potentially has, the ability to go and take that job if he wants to. But either way, I think you're right. Like, he plays through the catch really well for the pass breakups. And I think he's really opportunistic, like one of those highlights in there, which we were talking before we hit record, but the ball kind of just falls in his hands as he's laying on the ground. But, at the very least, he was just super opportunistic and kept his head up and remained in the play, even though technically he was out of it. So, I mean, that's super exciting. And you're going to need that at Nebraska. At some point, you're going to need to get lucky. And just knowing that he, was at least aware enough of that on that specific play, if he can translate that to college, it's going to, at least, at one point throughout his career, he's probably going to have another situation like that. So, yeah, I would say this specifically this defensive backs rotation is probably the brightest spot on Nebraska's team looking forward, in my opinion, potentially. So yeah, we'll see if Jalen Hill joins the class, and then obviously there's a couple more recruits that are out there that Nebraska is still kind of vying and is inviting on these official visits later on in the month. So we'll keep you updated on everything. Thanks for tuning into this one. Leave a like, comment on any videos that you'd like us to do in the future when things slow down. But we appreciate your time tuning in here.